Welcome to Kings Spotlight. This week we are joined again by Kings College football coach Jeff Knarr. Coach, thanks for being with us again this week.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, this week is homecoming week at Kings and a big game against Middle Atlantic Conference rival Lycoming College. Before we get into that game, let's look back at last week's game, a wild 44-39 road win at Lebanon Valley College. Coach, that was a game with a lot of ebbs and flows, momentum changes, and multiple adverse situations to recover from. But in the end, you got the win. So talk about the game and your team's effort.
Our kids, understand and completely buy into, the scoreboards are irrelevant until there's all zeros, on it. So they just kind of play each play, and they get better understanding that each play has a history of itself, and you can't repeat that play once it's over. So move on to the next play, and that then the maturity of our team served us well, as we didn't get off to a good start and rebounded and, had things going our way pretty good. And then Lev Val, got the momentum back and took advantage of, our miscues and turnovers. But then, I was impressed with the maturity, the leadership, of our kids. They didn't, panic or anything. They just kept, playing. And then I could always tell them when things aren't going our way, at some point, someone or, somebody or a group's got to put their foot in the ground and say no more and stem the tide, and get the momentum going back in our favor. And we did that in the fourth quarter and played really well and got out with a win that you said was, back and forth and up and down and very exciting.
Well, you have to be happy about the fact that the team showed tremendous heart and character in finding a way to win and battle through a lot of adversity, because in some past years that might not have been the case.
No, when we were, when you're a young team or an experienced team, or you're, trying to find, your footing or your way, and things like this, happen. You're in control, and then all of a sudden you're out of control. It's hard to get back in, control of the situation. But again, this is a veteran group. A lot of these guys have played a lot of football, so that's what you expect, that they're able to, understand the fact that, when things are going well, you fight like crazy to keep them going well, but when they're going bad, you got to, not panic and find a way to get it going right. And then that was the impressive thing to see. And again, showed maturity, and that's what I thought we had with these guys, that they, that they could handle adversity, but you never know it till you get in it. So it was proud and good to see them, handle adversity the right way, find a way to stop Lev Val's momentum, start playing clean, fundamentally sound football again, and then, win the fourth quarter to win the game.
Coach, it's still early in the season, so what are some of the positive things from an execution standpoint that you took from the game? And on the flip side, what are some of the things that you think the team still needs to work on?
Positive. I mean, again, we're doing a good job, I think, of stopping, called runs. Handled, they're a team that wants to run the football with a multitude of running backs. Then they added one, who's a really good athlete, and put him in the backfield more than they had in the previous two games. And I thought we did a pretty good job of handling their run game and making them have to rely on something they're not as good as, throw it more than they wanted to. And overall, the first three games, we've done a pretty good job, defending the run from there. So we're happy to see that. And offensively, we're being productive and finding ways to to move the football and still spreading the ball around a multitude of people, and that's kind of how our offense works. And that's a testament to our receivers and Zach at quarterback, and our pass pro has been very, very good. We've given minimal sacks, so we're very happy with that. Things we got to work on in the kick game. Some mental errors that led to to a block punt. Understanding the scheme better, and covering kicks, and we have some young guys there that are working hard and trying to get better. And then we need to get better, quickly in the kick game to improve from there, because we gave them too much, too good a field position as opposed to us, and that hidden yardage is huge. And Lev Val definitely won the hidden yardage game Saturday. So we're working real hard to shore up the kick game.
Well, looking ahead to Lycoming this week, we are hosting one of the longtime, traditionally successful programs in the Middle Atlantic Conference. Lycoming comes off a tough 4-point loss to MAC co-leader Albright on Saturday, but it is a program that is loaded with tradition. Coach, it's homecoming at Kings, so we know that we're going to have a packed home side of the bleachers, but Lycoming is always known to have a big following and is expected to have a large number of fans themselves. What type of environment are you expecting, and how much are you and the players looking forward to it?
Our kids are always excited. Homecoming, especially, the new format with all the activities and stuff going around is drawing alums, back to Kings. Like last year, pull into the parking lot and see a group of guys that played in the early 2000s, it was their first time back because they were always trying to find a reason to get together and come back. And the new format with homecoming and all that provided that opportunity. So it's always good to see people, coming back, and the numbers keep growing and growing. And then, to play Lycoming on homecoming, adds to that because, again, like you said, they may travel the best of any, school, in the MAC. So they're going to have, their sideline packed. It's not a long ride for the majority of their kids. So I think it'll be a great crowd. The West Coast will be great. It'll be, the kind of atmosphere you want when you're playing a traditionally, top team in the MAC and playing in a homecoming environment. It should be a very exciting, vibrant, atmosphere on Saturday.
Lycoming comes into the game looking to find itself offensively. They have used 2 players at quarterback, but seem to have settled on senior Chase Williams. Talk about what you have seen on film, as Williams appears to be a dual threat type of quarterback who has the ability to pass as well as run.
Yeah, I think, I know they were trying to find their way and playing both those guys in the beginning of the first 2 games of the year, and they decided on one. And I think that, it's only going to help, the offense, because now he's getting all the reps and making the decisions, and, he can grow, a lot faster than when you're, sharing and splitting time. And he is, he's very mobile, could do things. I mean, he did a nice job on the read, took it to the, the house against, Albright, makes decisions with the ball, trusts his receivers, can put it, in a spot where only his receiver is going to come down with it, or it's incomplete. So you kind of, saw him take a step up, which they were probably looking for, against Albright, and played well, and now only going to continue to get better as he takes all the reps. But he's fits kind of their mold, runs the show for them, and did a good job last Saturday.
Lycoming has traditionally been a team that has the ability to run the ball, and over the years they have produced a number of standout running backs. This year looks to be a little bit more of a 2-prong attack, with senior Sam Dressler and sophomore Dante Gibson sharing the bulk of the carries. Gibson in particular is also dangerous out of the backfield, as he has 12 catches in 3 games. Are they similar type runners, or do they bring a different skill set to the position?
Well, I mean, Dressler fits, I think, the mold and the other guy as well. But I mean, Lycoming running backs, they always run hard. They always finish, going forward. And then the Dressler kid definitely, does that. So they take pride in running the football. Their O-line does a good job of getting together and run blocking, well, and he runs hard. But the Gibson kid, he's a dual threat guy. Like they put him out of the backfield, they line him up in other spots, finding ways to get him the ball because he can make, plays. So they find ways to put him in position there. So the challenge for us is to know where he's at and, try to contain him and keep him under wraps because, he's when you hand it to him, he's dangerous, and then they find ways to throw it to him to take advantage of his athleticism and speed.
The Lycoming defense is typically one of the most stout physical groups in the MAC. This year's defense has given up some yardage early on, but they've also been a more of a bend but don't break type of defense and are allowing the 4th fewest points in the MAC at 20.7 points per game.
Yeah, look out there, they like to keep the, they want to make sure they keep the ball in front of them, and then they run to the ball, well, and they always, tackle well, and their front is very physical, and they get off the ball extremely good, from that standpoint. So they play good, fundamentally sound, defense. They're pressuring more. They run, their twist game is very, very good, and it'll be a challenge for our O-line to protect our quarterback. And then we just got to be able to be patient and kind of take what they give us and not force things. And then when you get in the red zone, we've had, last year we were able to, break through against them and score touchdowns in the red zone. In the past, we would get down there, they would, bend but don't break and make us kick field goals, and they were getting touchdowns and coming out ahead. So the same recipe's gonna have to work like it did last year. So when we get to that red zone, we got to be able to finish and get in the end zone for touchdowns and not have to settle for field goals, against their tough defense.
Coach, with all the pomp and circumstance going on with homecoming, some coaches might think this could be a distraction. But how do your staff and your team embrace the weekend? We
talk about them. Their whole focus is on the game, and our responsibility and job of homecoming is to go out and play the best we can and win the football game. So that's the only role we have in homecoming from that deal. So our kids are focused on that. We tell them not to get caught up in all the other stuff that may be going on, because that's for everybody else to enjoy the festivities and the activities, and your job is to enjoy Saturday afternoon from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And the better way to enjoy that is to have a great week of practice, be totally focused, and come out and do your 1/11th and play the best that you can. So if our kids do that, that's our role and job for homecoming.
Prior to the game, there was also the presentation of the Father Patrick Sullivan Award, which is given to a junior or senior Kings player who has demonstrated hard work, leadership, discipline, and other criteria, and is always presented before the game on homecoming. Talk about that award, how it came about, and how it has become a part of King's College football tradition as it enters its 5th year of existence.
Yeah, we're really happy that a bunch of alums, led by Richard Adams, decided to honor Father Sullivan, who was a mentor to them when they were here at King's, and inspired them, and they stayed close with him, and wanted to find an award to honor him, and wanted somebody that represented King's in a positive light as an athlete, as a student, and then as a person. So we sit down and find a young man on our team that represents all the values of the Congregation of Holy Cross, all the values of King's, and the values we have as a football program. So it's going to well-deserving players, and this year the recipient will be another one that's well-deserving, and it's a great award to do that at homecoming, and we're glad that those alums came up with that idea, and it's something that again adds to the pageantry and the excitement and makes homecoming that much more special.
Finally, Coach, when fans from both sides drive through those gates in the Betzler Athletic Complex, what can they expect to see on Saturday when Kings and Lycoming square off in an important Middle Atlantic Conference football game?
Well, first, hopefully a parking space, because I know we sold out the game there, and the crowd's gonna be bigger here. So I think we have they have plans for all that stuff from there. But when they actually get to the seats and see the game, hopefully they're gonna see us play good football like we played in the second, fourth quarter, Lebanon Valley. And not turn the ball over. I mean, we made some bad mistakes and costly mistakes, but see our offense play with tempo, play with rhythm, and then our defense be physical, run to the football, and then a much improved kick game. Working real hard to on our assignments, so not having mental mistakes there, and then flying down the field and making plays and winning that hidden yardage game. So just again, everyone doing their 1/11 to their best ability, and having fun while they do it.
Well, Coach, that's all the time we have again this week. Thank you for your time, and good luck to you and the Monarchs on Saturday when you host Lycoming College at 1 p.m. on homecoming day in the Betzler Athletic Complex.
All right, thanks for having me.